Every now and again, a sequel comes along that is absurdly better than the original film. Stuff like The Winter Soldier, Shrek 2, The Empire Strikes Back, Madagascar 2, and The Dark Knight. Now, a lot of people probably won't agree with me on Madagascar 2, but it is infinitely better than the first one. And all the other ones everyone should agree with me on because those are pretty obvious. All of those movies make it into my top 50 list, which may not sound that great, but don't forget that I know everything about film. I've seen over 240 of them.
I know everything about film. I've seen over 240 of them.
But seriously, I would say it's very uncommon for me to enjoy a sequel more than the original. But when it does, it's freaking glorious. Croods 2 was a freaking hilarious movie. Not only was Nick Cage born to be a voice actor.
Hey fellas, wherever I go, the wind follows. And the wind, it smells like rain.
But Ryan Reynolds, Emma Stone, Peter Dinklage, and pretty much everyone in this voice selection does an incredible job. There are multiple times in the film where just the screaming and grunting and growling and noise effects had me on the floor laughing. My wife was embarrassed, reminded me there's a virus going around, and then helped me off the floor. It was amazing. So why was Croods 2 the funniest film I've seen all year? All right, I get it. That doesn't sound very great because it's 2020, but I would go as far as to say that this was the funniest film I've seen for 2 years. I laughed more in this film than I did in Detective Pikachu, or Shazam, or Far From Home, or John Wick Chapter 3, or 1917, or Parasite. And I laughed in some of those movies a lot. Others I just brought up to sound impressive, because that's what, people who review movies do.
Macklin, you son of a...
Jumping back to my point though, the reason Croods 2 is so freaking funny is because they utilize a very bizarre and difficult to achieve sort of humor. I call it the random. Now I'm going to use a few general examples from the movie, so if you're super spoiler adverse, then green means go ahead and don't listen. 2 examples. 1, the chicken eye. In this scene, a boy tries to play fetch with his prehistoric dog, and he throws the stick. It flies precariously and somehow manages to land in a giant chicken's eye. The chicken then lets out a very human, high-pitched scream. The whole 5 seconds are both bizarre and hilarious. There is no preamble to this, no indication of something about to go wrong. It just randomly happens. And it's amazing and beautiful and so freaking funny. The weird thing about the random is it's hard to even describe why it's funny. It's not breaking social norms or ironic or witty or any of those things. It's just so unexpected. It's hilarious. You can't predict it, and that's like the shock and the release, and I don't know. There's something about it that just cracks me up. All right, here's my second example. Example 2. We all have secrets. So the family's having a little tiff, a little arguing match, and they're all trying to speak over each other, and they're all getting into it for different reasons. And one character who's not involved in the argument suddenly turns to the baby of the family and says, "We all have secrets." And then unexpectedly, an animal jumps from off their body and begins chasing the baby. The focus of the entire scene was supposed to be on the family's argument. That's the structure of the story. That's, what's developing the story is this argument. And then randomly it takes this detour where a character turns to the baby and says, "We all have secrets." And this animal jumps off their body. And it is so funny. It is insanely unexpected. You already have a funny scene with the argument. Like the argument's already outlandish. And then suddenly the movie doubles down on the weirdness and throws a wrench into it all. It happens constantly in the movie. I've never seen so many jokes that are out of left field, that are random, unexplained, and unexpected, but that land so well. Maybe I'm talking it up too much. Maybe it's just the type of humor I love because I'm secretly still a little kid. But who knows? I think you should watch this movie. It's family friendly, it's funny, and I legitimately laughed so hard I cried at times. And that has not happened to me in the movie theaters for years. For years, I've not been in a movie theater and laughed so hard I cried. And this happened here. Tears were flowing down my eyes. It was terrible. Water came out of my eyeballs. Sweet, sweet, salty tears of laughter and joy.
Big tears come out of my face. I don't want to be friends.
So go see it. Also, be sure to like my video. That way the YouTube goddesses will spread it around with their holy algorithms. Thanks.